Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Fab 5 podcast.
Episode
What is
6, I
this?
think. I think it's 6. 6 or 5.
5 or 6?
I think so. One of them.
Gabe, do you know off the top of your head?
Oh, I want to say this is
Because we
five.
had the intro, the
This,
NFL, intro, college football, NFL.
yeah, this is definitely five.
That's
This is
This
definitely
was
definitely
5.
five.
five.
Yeah, this was 5. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of the Fab 5 Bettors podcast, which is powered by our beautiful Fab 5 Bettors Discord. Link is in the bio on every social media platform. Make sure you follow us on Twitter. Follow us on TikTok. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's where all of our video podcasts will go on our YouTube channel, and all of our audio podcasts will go on our Spotify. Make sure you go ahead and check it out on Spotify. Um, we have Ryan here. We have Gabe here. Joey is not in attendance. Cornbread is not in
Nah, I
attendance.
think Joey passed out.
Joey probably passed out. Cornbread is probably playing dad, so probably watching the game as well because the Dolphins and Patriots are on right now as we speak. Hence why Ryan is wearing his Bradley Chubb jersey. Um, but fellas, it has been a very interesting week in the last week or so. But of course, I want to talk about what everybody has been talking about in the last 24 hours, and that's the Colorado State game that took place last night. It kicked off at 10:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it did not end until 2:30 Eastern Standard Time in the morning. It was a very good game. If you watched it,
That's what
you
happens
you
when you just roll
saw
over
you
them.
saw bits and pieces of just absolutely amazing performance from Shador Sanders. If you didn't watch it, I suggest you go back and watch the highlights because it's a lot of highlights. It's a lot of big plays that were made
Shitter Sanders
last
and
night.
him.
So, of course, the first question that I want to ask is Deion Sanders the real deal as a head coach at the big stage? Starting with Ryan, I mean, 3-0. Week 1 he played the TCU that was just in the national championship last year. Played Nebraska, who is in the Big Ten. Not a very, prolific Big Ten team, but
No.
still,
A Big
playing
Ten
some
team
Big Ten
nonetheless,
talent,
yeah.
right? And then the rivalry game at home against Colorado State. Is Deion Sanders the real deal? That's the main question.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. I mean, we'll start by just looking into kind of what he did recruiting-wise. He flipped Travis Hunter. He flipped Cormani McLean. He brought in Shador. He brought in like 50 something guys from the transfer portal, flipped the roster upside down on its head. I mean, if Donovan Edwards was better on the ground running the ball, they'd be a more complete team. But yeah, this team just until they face a defense that is going to give them problems, they can put up 350 yards, and that will be light work for them. We'll get to the Travis Hunter thing in a bit. I don't want to touch on that right now. But these next 2 weeks are going to tell us a lot about this team. You have to go to Eugene, Oregon. And then I actually don't mind playing USC at home. And the reason I don't mind that is because, I mean, yeah, Caleb Williams and his arsenal of skill players is going to be tough for that defense to deal with. But you can win a track meet with USC. I don't fucking care. The only thing that worries me about Oregon is, I mean, I'm going to say this, and I might end up regretting it next week. We might have to splice this into the podcast next week if I'm wrong. I almost would rather face Caleb Williams than face Bo Nix, truthfully. Just because, I mean, yeah, USC has all these weapons. They have Branch, they have Singer, they have whatever. They have Caleb who can fucking run the ball. Not that I don't believe in Bo Nix, but, like, the defense sometimes at Oregon scares me more than that offense does. And it's not because Bo Nix isn't good. Bo Nix could be like a second or third round pick next year by the time everything shakes out. But they don't run the ball as well as a lot of teams do. And I will say this, so I'd much rather take my chances against this Oregon. No, let me flip that around. I'd much rather take my chances against this USC defense, which is so far not shown any improvement from last year. I don't want to say they're not great because they're not bad.
Right.
But like honestly, if you can, a perfect world would be you obviously win, you go 2-0. But if you can split these games, if you can steal a game against Oregon, steal a game against USC, who's left on your schedule that scares you right now? Washington? Like, that's a... If Colorado only has, like, one loss when they play Washington later in the year, that'll be a game. But yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to get back to your main question, Deion is definitely the real deal.
For sure. Gabe, of course, I know you were there last night watching the game. Of course, there was some scary moments for Colorado. Of course, there was a late hit that occurred on Travis Hunter, which he's going to end up missing a few weeks.
He's out for a couple weeks. That's kills. It sucks.
That absolutely kills. That kills both sides of the ball. Just having him on both sides, but it was a lot of questionable plays, a lot of penalties, a lot of just bad play all around from Colorado State. And a lot of people were saying that, Colorado should have beat this team by 30. However, if you didn't do your homework, well, I'm going to tell you like this. This Colorado State team can put up points. And this Colorado State team does have a good defense. So,
they do.
Gabe, my question is, do you feel like people are overlooking this win more than they should be, or should they actually sit there and look at what this win does mean in a way? Because this win is somewhat important, but also it's a game where they should have won by more than like 20, 25 points.
All right. I'm gonna just keep this. Oh my. Oh, you missed him bad. Um. Uh, as far as Dion being a proven coach at this level, honestly, he's not on fraud watch.
Mm-hmm.
He's not on fraud watch, but I'm still keeping my eye out. I won't consider Dion to be successful. This team needs to go bowling. This team needs to go bowling. This team needs 7 wins.
I don't.
This team, I need to see 7.
I don't hate that.
I need to
really
see.
Don't hate that.
How many games you play in a year? 12. You're 3-0. You mean to tell me what you need to do?
Here's
you need to go 4 and whatever the fuck.
Here's what Gabe, you mentioned their
4 or 5.
You mentioned their
4
schedule.
5, yeah.
4 or 5.
I'm gonna pull it up here in a second.
Yeah,
after you would say your piece, and then I'll run through the rest of their schedule here.
Yeah, I need if they can't go 4 and 5 with this schedule, then then there's a lot. Then there's a lot fucking wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of think this one kind of shows who exactly Colorado is.
Mm-hmm.
A team with a lot of potential, a team that will be electric. But as I called it out from the first week, this team couldn't play defense even if it tried.
No.
This team, even with Travis Hunter there, which I don't even think it makes a difference anyway. They score without Travis Hunter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they still get cooked without Travis Hunter. So I think we all have. Yes, he's very important. But last time I checked, this was 11v11, not a one-on-one game. And a lot of us are. So yes, we can be excited just because this team's over/under was at 3.5 this year.
I should have taken
it. So yes, you can be excited at making progress, but real progress is going bowling. Right. I've always said from the jump, if Deion Sanders goes bowling, I could really give 2 shits about wearing shades. I can give 2 shits about how other people feel about him. I give 2 shits how he feel about other people. All I give a fuck about is wins.
Yeah, of course.
Nobody's gonna remember. Nobody's going to remember that some old head coach says you gotta take off your glasses and you gotta take off your hat. Nobody's gonna fucking remember that. I'm going to remember the fact that you in your first season, after starting 3-0, could not go bowling.
Do they need to win the bowl game?
Yes. They not only need to go bowling, but they also need to win.
I don't hate that.
If he goes bowling, he will get the pass. I'll be like, okay, you did something. He must win a bowl game. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a claim. You are Deion Primetime Sanders. You claim you're a winner. You need to show everybody that you're a winner. And I feel like one way to show that is to win and go bowling. So for me, in order for this season to be a success for Colorado, they need to go bowling and they need to win. I need to see 7-5. 7-5 is mathematically very much possible. They play in the Pac-12. We're not talking SEC. Let's be for real. They're not talking SEC.
Man says they play in the Pac-12 like it's bad when they've got 7 teams right now that are 3-0 before conference play starts.
I mean, well, I need them to go bowling before I take Deion serious. In this
That's
level.
fairly true. But I just want to say this piece, and then we'll go over their schedule because this is a team with potential, as Gabe said. This team does have a lot of potential. But just to think, Deion has really changed the culture of this team.
Of course.
Of this program.
We saw that day one when he walked in. He was like,
day one. But look at the people that are coming to just watch Colorado play.
Oh, it was like a fucking rap concert last night.
It makes you feel like you're at an all-star game.
Yeah.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but so many people, I'm talking Master P,
yeah.
Offset,
Key
Glock, Kyle Lowry was there, Chauncey Billups was there. The Wu-Tang Clan was there last week.
I forgot about that.
Lil Wayne was there.
He
put on a performance at College Game Day.
Yeah, that was sick.
The Rock was just there.
It's looking like the BET Awards. I ain't gonna
Desi Banks was just there yesterday.
I saw that too. Sure.
So many, like, Deion Sanders is changing this culture, the culture of this school for the better.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
In my opinion. I mean, yeah, bringing on the extra people can be a little, extra.
Mm-hmm.
But that just goes to show how much support Deion really has.
Yeah, I agree.
Because they're not doing this for just any other black coach. They're doing this because it's prime time.
Yeah.
They're doing this because Deion Sanders has been doubted a lot.
I think I will say this to add to your point. You said they're not doing this for anybody but Deion. They're doing it because they fucking believe in him. Like, they believe that he can be successful at Colorado. And that says a lot about fucking Colorado. Like, who thought 2 or 3 years ago Deion Sanders was going to be the coach of Colorado? They'd be 3-0 right now and one of the hottest talked about teams in the entire country. Like, nobody saw this coming. And they won 1 game last year. They were 1-11 last year.
1-11.
Which is
now
crazy.
They're 3-0.
Which is crazy.
They're 3-0 already. But it just goes to show how much support Deion really has behind all of this. Because before he even accepted this job position, he was doubted. People said, oh, Colorado's still not even going to be good. They're still going to suck.
He had doubted at Jackson State, for crying out loud, and they were good too.
And they were doing a whole lot.
Yeah.
A whole lot in Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, hell, he got Travis Hunter to flip to Jackson State.
Yeah. He was, that was the Florida State Jackson. Oh, man. That was a great day. That was a great day. I watched that video again the other day. Just fucking laughing my ass off.
I don't mean to interrupt her, but since we're talking about culture, look at what happened once he left Jackson State.
They're 500 right now, in fairness to them.
Look at what they are. Look at what they did when he left.
Everybody left with him.
Yeah.
Everybody left with him. I don't know. Well, I don't know. You might not know
The
this.
kicker
Yeah, the
left with
kicker
Dion.
left with Dion. That's
The
funny.
kicker.
What was that song? If don't hit your behind at the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I remember
And
that. Now look at you. Look at you, struggling to be at 500.
Yeah,
Struggling.
they're
Struggling.
somehow though 2-2. I haven't.
Yeah,
looked
they're
at
2-2
schedule,
right
so.
now, but they're struggling, still
Mhm.
struggling. It just goes to show how much a coach can really change an entire program.
Yeah.
Right.
You could talk about how, like, for example, you could talk about all day about how a college program has all the talent in the world. You could talk about that all day. But if you don't have a coach that is able to pull the potential out of them and pull the dog out of them,
Forget it.
forget it. It's over. You're just a team with potential and talent. That's it. But Deion Sanders has literally changed this entire program and the entire culture on its head for the better.
Like it was like a 2-week span too.
2
Which
weeks.
is crazy.
2 weeks. I'm telling you, I promise you guys, go back and look at all the people that was at that Colorado game just last night. And I promise you, you're going to be like, where the fuck?
Yeah.
Where did they all come
Like,
from?
what are they doing at a Colorado football game?
Like, they're taking their time out of their schedule, out of their day, out of their weekend to just watch Colorado play football.
I love
Like,
it. I love it.
Dion has changed this whole school. He changed the whole culture. And whether you like it or not, I love it.
I'm in.
I'm all for it.
I'm all in. Yeah.
I'm all for it.
Quick breakdown of the rest of the schedule, and then we'll move on to the actual topic at hand today. So, these next 2 weeks are going to tell us a lot about this team. You go to number 10 Oregon, and then you host number 5 USC, and then I don't know if it gets a lot easier, but you get a 2-week stretch after that, where you go to Arizona State, who is missing 5-star Jaden Rashada. He's hurt. So that sucks. And then you host Stanford, which it's Stanford this year. They're nothing special. Right. Then it gets, I'll say, I'm not going to say interesting, but it gets fun. You have to play number 22 UCLA, who is starting a 5-star quarterback in Dante Moore, who have been putting up points. You host Oregon State, DJ Uiagalelei. Little bit of a resurgence so far. I mean, they're undefeated as well, but like, I don't know if they've played anybody yet. Hang on. Let me just do one thing. No, they played San Jose State, UC Davis, and San Diego State. So no, they haven't played anybody good. And then, let me look at the last couple games here. Then you host Arizona, who is not great. Then the last 2 games of the season might make or break your season. You go to Washington State, who right now is undefeated, who went into Wisconsin and knocked off Wisconsin, and then unfortunately you have to go to Utah to end the season, and no, I don't want to go to Utah. So if you can go, you're 3-0 right now. If you can pick up wins at Arizona State, Stanford, and Arizona, that's 6. So if you can go 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, 6-4.
You go to call it right now.
If you can go 7-5 or 6-6, you'll be okay.
I'm gonna call it right now. Expect them to split those games with USC and Oregon. Hell, they might win both. I'm just gonna be honest with you. They might win both. Expect them to split the games.
They should. I agree with you. They should split those games.
They might win both. They have to split those games. Arizona State, not really worried about. Stanford, not really worried about. Oregon State, nah.
I need to see more out of Oregon State to believe in that before they play Colorado.
Washington State,
We'll see how Cam Ward looks at the end of the year. And then
Utah.
I mean, right now, even though Cam Rising's not playing, they're still winning games. Their defense is
I think they
disgusting.
beat Utah.
I hope so.
I'm sorry. I think they beat.
No, if I'll disagree with you. If they were at home, yes. They have to go to Utah. I don't think so.
Hell,
Not
think
if
they
Cam
beat
Rising's
Utah still.
if Cam Rising's actually 100%, there's no way they win that game.
Nah.
And also, we need to we also need to we need to monitor the health of Travis Hunter. I think he probably misses the next 2 weeks, which it sucks, but like again, as Gabe said, they were scoring with him and they were getting burnt without him. So
yeah, they were scoring without him, and they were getting cooked without him. So
it doesn't change a whole lot.
Doesn't change nothing. But the current topic of today's episode, we're gonna keep this real brief and short today because it's not really much to talk about. The state of the U.S. men's basketball team. Now, I don't know about y'all. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah.
This is probably the worst men's basketball team I've seen in a lifetime.
It's been a minute since we've seen a team this bad.
I'm gonna be honest.
It's been a minute since we've seen this team this bad.
I'm gonna be completely honest. Let me just be real fair. If you have LeBron tweeting about making his own U.S. men's basketball team,
I forgot about that tweet that he put out.
That means
LeBron.
that men's basketball team is dog shit.
Terrible.
Okay. Now that roster.
Hang on, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
Don't get me wrong. It wasn't a bad roster. It was some good prolific names on there. You had Brandon Ingram that was on there. You had Anthony Edwards that was on there.
You had Paolo. Paolo
Bridges
was on there.
You had Mikal Bridges that was on there. Paolo Banchero was on there. You had Austin Reeves that was on there.
Yeah. Jalen Brunson had a good tournament.
Right there.
Yeah.
That's a good 5 right there, but the rest?
Not great.
I don't know about the rest.
So
I'll give a little preface to this topic. For those who don't know, Noah Lyles recently just competed in the U.S. in World Track and Field Championships. Fastest man in the world currently. Can't stand him. I think he's
He tore it up though.
He tore it up, but he's a complete airhead in my opinion. Just outside of anything he says, yeah, he gets on my fucking nerves.
I love that.
He made the comment that how can the NBA claim they are the world champions when they only compete against the United States? And
yeah, I saw.
For those who don't know, because he was trying to make the argument, or in my opinion, just be a dick rider, that why call yourselves champs of the world when you're just the champs of America?
No,
I mean, which makes sense,
it's
but
valid.
I could also make the case that that this is probably the best league in the world by a long shot. And
it's not close.
It's not fucking close. EuroLeague doesn't touch this shit at all, other than fundamentals, but
yeah.
That's either that here or there. For those who also sleep under a rock, this past year was the FIFA World Cup. For those who also don't know, we finished 4th. Got packed up by Germany. We made Dylan
Germany
Brooks.
I'm about to say Germany went on to win the thing, didn't they?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey, at least they lost to defending World Cup champion, or the World Cup champion. Yay!
Boo fucking who?
Yeah, I know exactly.
Boo fucking who? That's like showing up to the party, seeing a bad female across the club, and be like, I saw the fat ass across the room, but I didn't get to hit it.
Damn.
I didn't get to touch it. That make no sense. Why the fuck you did?
No, he's not wrong. He's not
Why
wrong.
the fuck you did?
Wow.
That shit get on my nerves. Anyways, this team, I'll let you know right now, made Dylan Brooks. look like prime Kobe in
Didn't
his
Dylan
day.
Brooks drop like almost 40 on them?
Dylan
He
Brooks
dropped like what?
30.
It was like
He dropped
34, wasn't it?
34.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm
Dylan,
looking at the roster right here in front of me, Gabe. You've got
yeah.
Paolo Banchero, Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, and Josh Hart. That's fine. Brandon Ingram is okay. Jaren Jackson, Cameron Johnson,
That's
fucking
DPOY,
Walker
man.
for
Jaren Jackson. That's DPOY. That's all.
Walker Kessler from Auburn, who literally got drafted last year on this roster.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
you've got Bobby Portis Jr. and Austin Reeves. Like, the first half of the roster is like, okay, those guys are established NBA players. Like, they're good. They're young, but they're good. Then you get to, like, Austin Reeves, Kessler, Bobby. I mean, Bobby Portis is good, but, like, you couldn't put together a better roster than this for the World Cup?
I will also step in and preface it as well. The U.S. is the only fucking country that allows players to choose whether or not they want to play in a certain tournament.
Yeah, true.
All these other countries,
Don't they have to?
if you get called the fuck up,
You're going.
you're going.
Be ready.
Be ready.
Well, that's why was it Serbia? Is that the team Luka's on, Serbia? Is that why they look so? It's Slovenia, one of the two. Anyway, is that why they look so good? Because he was playing, and he balled out too.
I will go into saying this. The problem that the U.S. men's program has always had, which always gets on my nerves, is that players can choose when the fuck they want to play.
Yeah.
And when it means something. It's almost like we treat international basketball as like our second fiddle. No one really cares about international basketball, the U.S., unless it's the Olympics. And that's part of the reason that plays into this shit as well.
Yeah.
Because think about it. You got LeBron tweeting that he wants to make the Monstars again. You got LeBron and fucking Joel Embiid's DMs trying to convince him to play for the U.S., even though he is eligible for France. There is a fucking problem when you have a 37-year-old coming out and telling, fuck all this shit, we putting a team together for the Olympics next summer. That is the fucking problem, is that yes, we have maybe out of the top 20 players in the world, we have 15 of them playing the fucking United States.
Can we just address the fact
all of them are shit?
Can we address the fact though that, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, Gabe, and I know you're saying they treat it like it's second fiddle. Like, I didn't give a fuck about the FIBA World Cup. Like, I'm sorry, but like the only thing I give a shit about is the Olympics. Like half these NBA players do. Like, you could potentially see a roster in 24 of like LeBron, KD, Steph Curry, Bam Adebayo. I think I think LeBron's trying to reach out to.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's going to be a disgusting roster.
Yeah,
it's going to be disgusting.
That team will be such heavy favorites to win gold.
Is it 15?
Funny.
Is it 15 players? Right, 15 a team.
I thought it was. I think it's 12 for the World Cup and 15 for the Olympics.
Okay, look, we're doing it like this. For the 12-man roster, it's going to go like this. It's going to be Braun. It's going to be Curry. It's going to be KD. It's going to be AD. AD is going to be on that damn team.
Oh, he better be on that team.
Jason Tatum's going to be on that team for sure. Devin Booker's going to be on that team. I would get Brandon Ingram on that team.
I don't hate giving him. Yeah, Anthony Edwards actually had a really good World Cup.
I would get Ant on that team. I would get Bam on that team.
Yeah.
I would try to get Jimmy Butler on that team.
Oof.
And then I would try to get.
You could just probably fill the last 3 spots with whoever.
Fuck, might as well throw Clay on that team.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can probably throw
Draymond on that team, and then
that's 11. You just pick somebody.
Fuck.
You also have to keep in mind too that Joel might play for Team USA.
There's your 12. There's your 12.
It's like, listen, that team is gonna be absolutely disgusting. I'm gonna let you know right now. Mm-hmm. If LeBron is recruiting this team, that team is going to be absolutely disgusting. I'm going to let you know right now.
Is Steve Kerr still the coach of this team?
Yeah. He is.
Okay.
He is. Yeah,
I mean,
coach
he
the
took
coach
over
gets
from
select.
Coach K, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay.
I just feel like, um, first off, going back to what you had said, Gabe, about the Noah Lyles comment, I feel like the NBA, we're talking about the National Basketball Association, right? It hosts some of the best players from the U.S.
Everywhere.
and international. Think
Hmm.
about it. You have players like Nikola Jokic, two-time MVP. You have Luka Doncic, absolute god at point guard. You have a lot of names that have been in the league, that have came into the league, that have been in the league, that are still in the league, and that are coming to the league,
Hmm.
that are international. So why would you not be called a world champion? You're playing against players from Germany, from Spain, hell, from fucking
Pick a
from
country.
Denmark and Finland and
I mean, if you want to go as far east as fucking Australia, I think Dellavedova's from Australia. I don't know if he's in the league still, but Matthew Dellavedova's from Australia.
exactly. Going
Um,
against Australians, like you're going against an entire platform of players that are from everywhere in the country,
well,
everywhere
Gabe,
in the world.
Gabe, I want to ask you this question.
Mhm.
I mean, if you look at, I mean, I know there's differences between like Gold Cup rosters and Olympic rosters. I mean, you have to qualify the Olympics and World Cup rosters. Like, I mean, in fairness to them, sometimes I don't know which league specific, but isn't there some cases where yes, sorry, Tyreek Hill just had a touchdown pass. Tua had a touchdown pass. Tyreek Hill. Isn't there? Don't some clubs like have the option of whether or not they can like let their players go play for their countries? Because I know some
No,
teams will and some teams won't. Right? Is it up to
no,
the players or up to the league? Or like
no.
the.
So for international tournaments
Mm-hmm.
that is not during the season.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, soccer they have certain period. It's a guaranteed rule. If it is during a period during the allowed period,
Mm-hmm.
teams can't stop players from coming up.
Yeah.
However, players can communicate with that country if they don't want to go up,
Mm-hmm.
which
That's what
is
I
a
thought.
thing. And I think a lot of it too is alluding to the Gold Cup. I think the USA's reasoning for what a lot of people are going to tell you, well, we have to see what the new talent's going to bring.
No, you don't. Well,
We have to see what this new generation is going to bring. No, the fuck you don't.
no, you
You
don't.
see, you see them play 82 games a year.
Yeah,
You know
seriously.
exactly. You know exactly what those players were going to produce.
Yep.
When I saw that fucking roster for the World Cup, I was like, we ain't winning that shit.
No.
We're not.
No.
We ain't winning that shit. It's what you only have one star in Anthony Davis
Yeah.
and a bunch of good players
Wait, do you mean Anthony
and
Edwards?
Edwards, and a bunch of good players.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's like it pisses me off because it's just like, as I said before, this new generation coming up is going to be nice. It's going to be very good. But when you have a system where you let the players run the asylum and choose when they want to play,
Not good.
it's not good at all. I think another thing also playing into this shit too, and no one really wants to talk about it, is AU basketball.
Yeah. Yeah.
No one wants to. I don't know if you guys watch AAU clips.
I have. You know who I've been watching a lot of? This is getting way off topic, but Cooper Flag, that new #1 recruit that's committed. He's not committed yet. People think he's going to Duke. I've watched quite a bit of his AAU footage, and I've gotten into the habit now of like I watch the Peach Jam highlights. I watch like Gabe, so like some of the other like bigger tournament highlights I'll watch.
Yeah,
But
IBL tournaments.
yeah, like that's kind of where you learn a lot about some of these kids, even if they're just in like high school.
You want to know my problem with AAU that really gets on my nerves?
What?
AAU does not teach fundamentals.
No, of course not.
And I feel like this is the problem with basketball right now. A lot of American players coming up are just know how to be showmen.
Yeah.
A lot of them know how to dance with the ball. A lot of them don't know how to pass.
Yeah.
A lot of them don't know the basic fundamentals. And AAU is more like, well, I got to get my stats off. I got to be a highlight clip.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's and I think that's all people care about right now.
That's all people care about. A lot of people just care, can you score?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys notice. A lot of these players coming up, there's so many players that can't play defense.
No.
There's so many players that can't pass. And that's because we're allowing AAU to just be our main development system. And when you and a lot of times a lot of these college coaches, they're looking for the flashy guy. And they're looking for the guy who's gonna be a highlight reel. And then when you get to college, I also don't think college really prepare a lot of people for the NBA either.
No, and this is the one thing that bothers me about college football. Not college football, college basketball, and like preparation for the NBA. I mean, like, yeah, obviously you're going to college to get an education, but like, if you're good enough, it's not that you don't care. So I'm gonna go on a complete side tangent here for like 2 minutes here, Gabe. But like, I am probably one of the more massive college basketball fans that you'll find. I mean, Molly can attest to that. Joey can attest to that. Cornbread can attest to that. I feel like college basketball now, it's not even about playing for your university, playing for your college. It's, oh, let me play 2 years, be as best I like, be really good, and then go to the NBA. I'll worry about my education and like playing in college or whatever later. I don't know. I feel like the way college basketball recruiting is now, obviously with the transfer portal, with NIL, with all that stuff mixed in, I mean, it almost kind of is turning into the NBA a little bit. Because, I mean, essentially you getting an NIL deal with a company is like a contract. It's like you have a contract with this team. I mean, you have so many one and dones in college basketball now, and it's just gotten to the point where it seems like it's like kind of like not the NBA 2.0, but like it's just nobody cares about playing 3 years, 4 years, 5 years in college. They just want to play their 1 year in college, and if they're good enough to go to the NBA, they'll go to the NBA. You know what I mean?
Right.
It just sucks because, I mean, you look at some of the better teams that have won national championships recently. Look at UConn last year. They had like 3 or 4 guys who had been there for 3 or 4 years. I mean, like I will say this. Obviously, your Dukes, your Kansases, your Kentuckys, not so much North Carolina, but like those 3 programs have been more predominant with the one and done as far as you play a year in the NBA and you play a year in college and go to the NBA. This is getting way off topic, but I wish college would institute a rule like the NCAA has for football, where you have to stay at least, I want to say it's at least 2 years in school before you can declare for the NFL draft. I wish they would do that
more than anything.
Yeah, I know it is, and that's it's a whole nother rabbit hole that I don't want to go down tonight. But we can talk about that later. But like, I don't know. It's frustrating. Is what it is. I know we're completely off topic.
I honestly think I will sit here and tell people. Honestly, think that the problem with USA basketball stems all the way down to the youth level in college.
Yep.
None of these kids are properly prepared to play on that level. A lot of to play on the international level.
No, I agree with you.
Or their basketball. Right? A lot of these kids, all they know is to be stars by themselves.
Yeah.
And when you're paired up with other people who are just as good as you, they struggle. So I feel like a lot of this is stemming down from the fact that AU doesn't teach fundamentals.
Yeah.
College people are just trying to protect jobs and get their wins. And when they get to the league, and I always tell people when you get to the league, if you don't have that foundation, it's very hard to change it.
Yeah.
You can't just flip a foundation, but I think a lot of this starts at the youth level. And I feel like if we start telling people, hey, if we at the youth level make it a known fact that these kids actually have to play basketball, real fundamental basketball, and not
Well,
be showmen.
it's like what U.S. Soccer is trying to do now, which is kind of starting to work, where
Right.
you have all these different, um, like all these different youth leagues and youth camps and ODP and whatnot. Like they all. So I'll go on another tangent again for 2 seconds. When I was playing soccer, when I was playing travel soccer growing up, Gabe, I don't know if you can relate to this or not. We would go up against teams that, I shit you not, I would play against the same kids 3 summers in a row, 4 summers in a row, 5 summers in a row, and then we'd see them again in fucking high school. But it's because A, they all played together throughout, like, up through the whole system. And these kids, A, they cared about the game, and B, they wanted to get better. I feel like if the NBA at the college level, if you're just good enough, I feel like you automatically think, oh yeah, I'll play 1 year in college and go to the NBA. Like it seems like freshmen in college, they just don't care. Like they just want to play their 1 year and then just go chase the money. I don't know, Mario. I don't know what you have to say about all that, but I just feel like that's kind of where it is now.
What exactly?
I just think that like as soon as you know, if you're someone who's good enough and you get to college and you're a freshman, all you care about is playing that 1 year and going to the NBA.
I feel like that's all sports though, because the thing is, this is how I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
When you know that you are good enough to either A, play on a 15-man roster in basketball, or if you're good enough for a spot on a 53-man roster in the NFL,
yeah,
whatever roster, if you feel like you're good enough for a spot on anybody's main roster, I feel like it doesn't matter how many years you play. I feel like once you feel like you're ready to go play
you don't
or
care.
ready to go, then go.
Yeah.
Which is why a lot of times I'm a person where if you feel like you're ready to go straight out of your freshman year, go ahead. You could have had the best freshman year. You could have won Heisman. You could have won all the awards possible your freshman year. You could have won Player of the Year in college basketball in your freshman year. If you feel like you're ready to go, you feel like you're ready for the draft, go. Because it's a lot of people that have looked good and have looked capable of playing on Sundays in football and playing on a 15-man roster in basketball.
Mm-hmm.
Right off the rip, straight out of freshman year.
Yeah.
Honestly. Which is why I'm more of a person that's why I say this. When you feel like you're ready to go play or ready to go get drafted, then go.
Mm-hmm.
Play whatever amount of time you want to play.
Yeah.
But once you feel like you're ready to get out, then go.
Go.
Because there's no point of even staying longer than what you need to stay. Granted, you have the athletes that care about their education. That's why they stay to get the education, a part as well, playing the sport still for their school. But however, if you feel like you're ready to go, your sophomore year, after your sophomore year, go. Because it's just like, why waste so much time, still playing school ball when you could be playing professional ball?
Yeah.
But a lot of times people are staying because of the NIL deals as well.
Mm-hmm.
To get that free money pretty much without having to worry about anything else. But hey,
do you feel like that mindset is killing the quality of basketball players that we're producing right now?
I think it is. Go ahead. What were you about to say?
Because I think a lot of issues that we're having right now with USA basketball, right? is I think honestly comes down to the youth level and the collegiate level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, but based off that mindset you just gave, obviously I think you would answer it, but do you feel like that mindset is killing the development of players?
I think it is because you got to think about it like this. These are kids still.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're not 25. They're not 30.
No, they're
They're
like
not 35.
They're like
They're
18 through
they're
like
18,
18,
19,
19 years
20,
old.
21
Mm-hmm.
years old. You know, I'm 22, so I know a thing or two. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But it's the sole fact that when you give a kid this much money just because of an NIL deal, they don't
Yeah,
know what to do with it.
that's
At that point,
true. I
they
forgot
never
about that.
like, okay, let's be completely honest here. A lot of these kids that are getting the NIL deals have never touched this amount of money before.
Nope.
Never. They never have. I wish I could.
Yeah.
Just for an NIL deal. I wish I
Mm-hmm.
could.
Yeah.
These kids are in Benzes and
Yeah.
BMWs
And
at
the
18,
Lambos.
19
Yeah.
years old. 18, 19 years old, these kids are in Benzes and BMWs.
Mm-hmm.
So they're thinking, oh, if this is what it's like, I'm playing college. Just imagine the league.
Yeah.
Then they get to the league and it's totally different. Which is why you see a lot of kids that are playing in college, that are in college, they don't end up going to the league. But or when they do go to the league, they're you're just stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is like, oh, this is not what I expected it to be. Yeah. Because the thing is, with college, you have a lot more freedom
Yeah.
compared to the NBA. You have a lot more freedom. Like you can, like with college, you can go play a basketball game Friday night, and then there'll be a party that same Friday night. And guess what? You're at a party the same Friday
Yeah.
night you just got done playing a basketball game and you won
Mm-hmm.
that basketball game. They're
And you
throwing you
probably don't,
they're throwing you a party because you won the basketball game on a Friday night.
and
Yeah.
you probably don't even have a game for that weekend.
Yeah.
And you don't have a game for that weekend. For the rest of that weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You for the party.
Yeah.
But with the NBA, when you get to the NBA, it's not that. Because the thing is, a lot more people are watching you once you're in the league. Think about all the situations that have happened outside of the league, that have happened out on the street.
Mm-hmm.
So many people are watching you. That's what a lot of these college kids don't understand off rip. They're watching you at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Even in college, they're watching you. But it's not like, you're a kid still.
Yeah.
What are they going to say to a kid, quote unquote, right? What are they
Mhm.
going to say to a kid? He's just living his life. He's having fun. He's playing
Yeah.
basketball or he's playing football. He's playing baseball. He's having fun. It's college.
Yeah.
What are they going to say to a college
That
kid?
I was gonna say. There you go. It's college.
It's a college kid we're talking about. We're not
Yeah.
talking about a grown man in his 30s trying to feed his family
Making a
in the NBA,
playing for a
in
living.
the NFL, in the Major League Baseball.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about a college kid, which is why you see a lot of these college kids get caught up in mess that they don't need to be caught up in,
Mm-hmm.
and then they don't end up getting far where they want to be at.
Yeah.
It's just the sole fact of the matter is that there's so much talent in this world. It's so much talent. But with the NIL deals, with not taking the World Cup serious, without the mindset of a grown adult, when you're still in that college mindset,
Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be much production.
Nope.
It's not. When you put a bunch of young guys on the same team for a World Cup team,
Yeah.
granted, some of those guys have been in the league for about a couple of years, about 5, 6. I think
Few
the
years
oldest,
now.
the person that's been on the person that was on that team that's been in the league for the longest, I think is Brandon Ingram, and he's not even 30 yet.
No, he's not. Which is crazy.
He's not even 30 yet, but he's been in the league longer than I think everybody on
Everybody
that
on
team.
that roster. Yeah.
Everybody that's on that roster, I promise you can look it up. I will guarantee Brandon Ingram is the oldest player on that team, and he's not even 30 yet. But this is what happens when you put kids that are not, well, not, I'm not even going to say kids because a lot of them are probably 20, 21, 22 years old. When you put players that are not experienced in situations or on teams for a bigger platform like the World Cup, what do you expect to happen? What do you expect?
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not surprised the U.S. finished fourth. I'm not surprised.
You
It's
want to
not a
hear
lot of
something? Hang on.
it's not a lot of experience on that team.
You want to hear
What did you
something
expect?
crazy?
What?
You know who the oldest player? There's 2 players that are 28 on this team.
Who?
Josh Hart is 28.
I forgot about him.
Brandon Ingram's only 26. And then Austin Reeves is 22. Bobby Portis is 28. Those were the 2 oldest players on that team.
But still,
Yeah.
you got people that are not even 30 that haven't even been in a leadership role on a team for the World Cup.
Yeah.
You don't have any experience on this team.
None of them screen leaders on that team.
There's no team leader on that team.
No, there was no. I mean,
There's none.
I mean, I guess if you would argue, maybe it's like fucking Jalen Brunson.
Bobby Portis is an NBA champion, but guess what? He's not even a leader of his own team.
No, it's Giannis.
He's not.
Yeah.
Giannis Antetokounmpo was the leader of that team.
Yeah.
He's not a leader of that team.
He also didn't.
What did you expect putting Bobby Portis on the World Cup team?
Yeah, exactly.
What did you expect putting Josh Hart on the World Cup team?
Mm-hmm.
What did you expect?
Yeah.
Which is why, me personally, if LeBron goes ahead and build his own roster, hey.
But that'd be, oh my God, if he builds a roster, we probably win the Olympics and it wouldn't be fucking close.
Monstars 2.0.
Yeah, agreed.
Nobody's even gonna have a chance going against that team. I promise you. I promise you. But
I'm gonna just say something real quick before we end up wrapping this up.
Yeah, I don't have anything really left.
A lot of people would associate, and for those who don't know, I went to school. I went to the same school for damn near 6.5, 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
I basically spent my adulthood growing up in another city.
Oh, poor Gabe.
But, yeah, in poor Buffalo.
Poor Buffalo.
A lot of people assume that age equals maturity.
Nope.
Experience, I always tell people, experience equals maturity.
Mm-hmm.
That's a problem with this generation. These kids have not gone through anything. These kids don't know the struggle. And part of it is because when you get that money and when you're famous, you start to move a little bit different. Your eyes is like, oh, I'm here. You know, people forget where they came from. And I think part of it is we have to start putting people in, like, these kids. Leadership is something that you gain over time.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be put in a situation to lead. Leaders, there's no such thing as a born leader.
Yeah.
Leaders are made. Leaders have to be put in a situation where shit hits the fan. And when you are coddled and when you are protected, you know, you don't really grow. Anybody can lead when shit going perfect.
Yeah.
It's the truth mark of a man when somebody leads and shit's going left. And I will personally tell you, when I first came to school, I was a nut job. I did not listen to anybody. I thought I was the shit. I had to go through my losses and learn from my mistakes and learn from shit. A lot of motherfuckers now don't. A lot of these kids coming up, they just had everything handed and spoon fed to them.
Yes, they
and when
have.
you have that mentality of, oh, I just expect everything to go my way, which is the problem now with us when it comes to sports, is we just especially basketball, we just expect everything to go our way.
Mm-hmm.
We just think we're better than everyone else. None of these guys have, you know, like,
they just don't.
They don't get it. A lot of these guys think, oh, because I could lead, I'm the best player. No, you fucking not. the best player on the team is not a fucking leader.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not. There, I could point to so many fucking teams where the worst player in the fucking team is the leader
Yeah.
because he actually knows what it takes to. He's been through shit. He knows what it's like.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of this shit is because, as Mark said, the NIL money. When you're on campus and you're the big dog, because trust me, I know what it's like to be the big dog. Everything's peachy cream and people throwing parties, the hoes everywhere. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like all this, all cash running around you and shit. But when all that shit's taken away, you really got to fight.
Yeah.
You have to fight. That's when a leader is made. Not this shit that all these motherfuckers at 18 with BMWs and Hellcats
Everything.
and Marys and got wearing clothes that cost more than people mortgages. Like, yeah, okay, you might have grown up poor, but you ain't struggling. You ain't struggling. You made it. A lot of these motherfuckers, once they see the money, they made it. They could take their family out the hood. So they at the end of the day, they just at that point they have to find their own motivation.
Mm-hmm.
And for a lot of people, once that major problem of money and situation is solved, that motivation is gone for them. They don't give a fuck. They just doing it for the shits and giggles.
Yeah.
And I feel like now we got a lot of motherfuckers coming up playing basketball that don't love basketball, that don't love what they do. They just doing this for shits and giggles. And I tell people all the time, I could spot out a fake. I could spot out motherfuckers who are doing this for shits and giggles and just because.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you go right into the issue you ran into at the World Cup. I think the only motherfucker who truly cared being there is probably Anthony Edwards.
Yeah. He was the best player on that team.
I could tell the way he was playing. He truly cared. The rest of them, they ain't care. Because you want to know what it is, too? A lot of them motherfuckers, they know they're not going to make the World Cup squad.
Yeah.
Not the Olympics team. So
Yeah.
for them, it's just, they just here to have a good time, make a little check. And for them, this is their preseason.
Yeah, that is true. I was gonna say we have NBA in like a month or so.
We have to get out of this mentality that everything is just gonna be spoon fed and handed to us.
Mm-hmm.
I think honestly speaking, me and Mar's generation, last generation, when we had to fight for shit, ain't shit wasn't handed to us. I tell my people, I'll tell motherfuckers like people be like, man, he a teacher, he went to school for 70 years, he lived a life. This shit was not handed to me. It sure the fuck was not. I had to sacrifice a lot of shit to get where I'm at today. I don't know if a lot of these basketball players growing up, they ain't had to sacrifice shit.
Mm-hmm.
AU now is paid it's paid a ball.
Yeah.
You're literally getting paid to play basketball
Yeah,
at such a
you are.
young age, bro.
So it's like that motivation for you to succeed is gone. That's why I always tell people when money's the root for why you want to succeed. As soon as you get that money, I'm gonna find out who you really is, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
find out if you really love it, love this game, and you want to be the very best.
I feel like the money is literally taking away the love of the game originally.
Yes, it has.
Like that's why a lot of these kids nowadays, and I say kids, you know, I'm damn near in the same age as
We
them.
damn near fucking kids, and we
Yeah.
talking like fucking old heads.
You know what I mean? But like kids nowadays are not even playing the sport
No.
because of the love of it. They're playing the sport because they know they're going to get a deal out of it.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of kids are playing the game now because they know that there are companies that are willing to pay them to advertise certain
play.
stuff
Yeah.
to play. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
It takes away literally everything from the grit, the grind that's been put in, day out,
Now,
night in and night out
Mm-hmm.
on literally everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's sports, whether it's outside of sports, you take away everything. You put money. That's the thing. You put money into a kid's hand, they're gonna totally forget why they even started playing that sport.
Yeah.
especially if they ain't never touched money like that before. Oh, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
Forget it.
You are going to make them totally forget why they even started playing the sport.
Absolutely.
That's all I gotta
And
say.
that's it. And you want to know what
That's
it
it.
is? Not now. Some people be saying here like, "Oh, well, they get paid when they get to leave." We also got to think about this too. Yes, you get paid, but
Mm-hmm.
if you give me an 18-year-old, if you show me that's like, I'll make a reference here. That's like me talking to the girl first date and she already giving up the box.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, I got what I wanted.
Yeah.
You know, if I had to work for it, it's like I'm gonna value it a little bit more.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm gonna get the prize, but it's like if you gotta work for that shit, you gonna value it more.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you get the money, it's like, damn, I had to work for this shit, so I gotta keep and work for this shit. You know what I mean? When you just hand this shit right away, you don't value that shit because you know, man, that shit was easy to get.
Yeah.
Literally.
So it's just
Literally.
like I feel like a lot of this shit start with the youth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Legit,
nothing
all
else
this
to say, by the way.
a lot of start with the youth, and I feel like it won't change. But here we
Mm-hmm.
are. That's the problem. A lot of shit just won't fucking change. But it is what it is. But I ain't got
Mm-hmm.
shit else to have with it. It is 10:10 in the fucking evening.
Yeah, I think we
Fucking
gotta go.
Miami's whooping ass.
What's the score? Is it still
Seven
17-3?
7-3.
Ah,
Yes,
let's
yes,
go,
sir.
fellas.
So you know,
Um,
we need Tyreek to start cooking, huh?
Yeah, so does Ramondre.
literally.
I feel like Tyreek he gonna start. I feel like once that defense starts to get a little bit more aggressive, they gonna throw the ball more. But Mario, you can go ahead and wrap this shit up. I ain't gonna lie.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a pleasure. It has been an honor to give you episode 5 of the Fab 5 podcast. Of course, make sure that you are following us on Twitter. Make sure you're following us on TikTok. Make sure that you are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Our videos for our podcast will be going on YouTube. And of course, our audio for our podcast will be going on Spotify. So if you're not on Spotify, go ahead and check us out. Well, if you are on Spotify, go ahead and check us out. All of our previous episodes have been uploaded. Same with YouTube. You can go ahead and watch them. You can go ahead and
Mm-hmm.
listen on Spotify, like I said. Join our Discord. We have a good time in our Discord. I'm gonna be honest. We sit there, we talk shit to each other,
Yeah, we do.
and we talk about our bets. You know, we have ourselves a good time. I continue to talk about it a lot because I want people to understand that we're not one of those discords that where you got to pay to get in or pay to keep a membership. We're not one of
Mm-hmm.
those.
Nope.
There's no point. You know, if one of us win, we all win. That's the motto we kind of go by. If one win, we all win. That's pretty much it. One lose, we all lose. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Join our Discord. Everything is free. Follow us on Twitter. If you're not already following us on Twitter, you need to go ahead and follow us on Twitter. We do have college football spaces coming up this Saturday. Make sure you're there for that. Of course, our NFL Moneymaker Sunday, which is every Sunday at 11
11.
a.m. Eastern.
We
Yeah, I
making
love
money.
Yes,
man.
Speaking of money, we
11
making
a.m.
money this
Eastern. Of course,
Sunday.
college football spaces are 11 a.m. Eastern as
No,
well.
10 o'clock.
10
10
o'clock.
o'clock. Never mind. So sorry. 10 o'clock Eastern in the morning on every Saturday, where we talk about, you know, what we like for that day,
Mm-hmm.
what we're going on that day. Of course, we have our squad ride. We recovered this past weekend. Duke
Yeah,
minus
we did.
17, the squad ride cash.
And on
So
Sunday,
it's finna.
wait, Gabe, did Commanders cover? Right?
Commanders covered. Commanders outright.
The
Yeah.
Commanders won outright. So we're cashing our squad rides now. So if you want to join in on our fun, again, follow us on Twitter. Be there for our spaces. We talk about everything from the top of the list to the bottom of the list. Um, I think I got everything.
I think you did too.
Also, if anyone has topics that they would like to talk about, please let us know in the
Yeah.
comments, please.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know in the comments.
Obviously, this is if you follow us for our spaces and stuff, this is more like where we just talk about general sports and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think I think will we? I think this is. I think when we'll have a fall break. I think our first fall break will be Columbus Day weekend. I think
Mm-hmm.
that'll be the one weekend where we take off and don't record.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
think that'll be
Right.
that'll be a fall break. But if anyone got a topic they like to talk about, slide in the DM on Twitter or comment under this video. I do check the
Let us
comments
know.
on it. We talk about anything when it comes to sports. Any topic, anything that's interesting. The five of us are very well versed in other sports, and we all come from different walks of life, so it brings forward an exciting conversation. But
Absolutely.
I don't got nothing else. I don't got nothing else to add on this other than the fact that I'm getting absolutely torched in fucking fantasy right now. And
So am I. It's okay. I still have players
oh,
tomorrow, but
hold on. Does anybody want to talk about how Bryant is putting up 171
yeah, have
points?
you seen that? Ma, have you checked in?
No.
Bryant put
He's
up like
put,
almost 200 this week. Yeah.
yeah.
Gabe. I will say this before we wrap. Gabe was right. It's gonna be about who has the best combinations every week, and it's not gonna be the same person.
Mm-mm.
It's going to be a person who can figure out matchups.
Yep.
Right.
Um,
But
um,
that's it. I think we got everything.
Mm-hmm.
oh shit, Ma! I think you just be. I think you about to be being on fucking what's his name?
You gonna
Cornbread.
beat Cornbread?
He be.
Yeah.
He
Well,
turned
it
around. He's gonna
depends on if
be.
he has anybody tomorrow night.
No, he has nobody tomorrow night. Who does he have playing right now? He has Ramondre playing right now.
Ramondre, who is not having a great night. I've got the Dolphins defense right now. They're doing all right for me.
Yes. We just need Ramondre to get
50
a couple more yards,
Yeah.
50 yards, 29 more yards, Ramondre. That's it.
All right. We're gonna go ahead
Uh,
and wrap this up.
yeah, we gonna.
Of course, it's always a good time. Make sure to tune in every Monday. We do have technical difficulties here and there, so it might vary sometimes. But every Monday on Spotify, on YouTube, make sure you go ahead and check in with us.
Mm-hmm.
If you have any topics that you want us to talk about, let us know either in the YouTube comments or you can just DM us on Twitter or you can email us at the fab5bettors at gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's been an honor and a pleasure giving you episode 5 of the Fab 5 podcast. And we shall say good night
Good night.
and see you next week.
See you next week.